Well, today we are continuing on my journey of starting Path of Exile 2. And just to preface, I don't like melee. So far, I thoroughly enjoy playing a range style, so I decided to switch it up, not realizing that you could just change your weapons at any time. So I chose a mercenary, starting over fresh, Act 1. So this is my full run through Act 1 as a new player as a mercenary. And here I'm actually changing some of my menus because I had to change to a controller due to surgery on my shoulder. Doctor's orders were to not use my arm, one of my arms rather, so I can't extend it all the way to touch the keyboard. So I decided to plug my controller in and see how the controller support was, and it is actually very, very well done. They've done a very good job. The only gripe I have is it doesn't have the seamless switch between controller and mouse and keyboard at the same time. Like, I can't use my mouse while my controller's plugged in and using it. I have to go to the main menu to change. So all menuing is done through my controller. If they could integrate both, that would be swell, but it is what it is. So I'm using a controller for at least the foreseeable future. We'll see how long the doctor lets me change out. But until then, I'll be using controller, trying the mercenary, which I prefer a ranged setup. And the crossbow looked pretty good from what I saw. And going through, beating the first boss yet again, the Miller, the bloated Miller. There we go. And ironically, this went a whole lot better than when I was melee. Moving on to the frost boss, same situation. I kind of learned a little bit more on my skills. Got her down rather easy, which I thought was hilarious since it took me a couple tries. And then we move on to the worm boss, which I had real trouble with as melee. And then I move on to this guy, and it just became super simple. Not just because I've already completed it, but because I'd actually realized how to play a ranged, especially with controller. So I was able to down them. I still haven't died yet, and by this time, I've already died 3 times on my melee character. So I'm already happy with myself being able to keep going. I really did it. The targeting system's kind of interesting on a controller, but I am enjoying it to the best of my abilities. I was thinking maybe a mage would be better with the AoE stuff, but I'm not sure. In this panel here, I'm actually checking my damage. So I finally realized that I could pull up 2 separate screens because of all the menu changing I've been doing. And with the left panel, I was using the skill gems, and on the right panel I had my weapons out, and I would change weapons to figure out which weapon would do more damage. So I got through that, went on to the next boss, downed him, no deaths yet, we're cruising right along. Here on the passive skill tree, I zoomed out, taking a better look at it, and if you can see there, I have some that were highlighted. So the highlighted ones were actually filters that you can put on your passive skill tree, and I didn't know that was a thing. Someone commented on my last video that was a thing, so I took advantage of it, and I put on grenades, and I'm just sitting here blasting with some explosive grenades. I kind of want to talk about the tessellation though, like the backgrounds that you're walking around in, because the scenery changes in between each different area just in this one act so far. Like right here, I'm in a real weird grungy like rooty type area, and later on there are more, and I'll mention those. But I think it's really cool that it changes even within this first act. So I move on to this weird looking bramble boss, rotted boss, druid type thing. I don't know. It was honestly a little tougher than I thought it was going to be, because the teleport thing, and he kind of shoots out a bunch of stuff, and those things whipped me a couple times. It was an interesting spiel. Then we move on to some ghosty dude, the Ghost Knight. He really wasn't that difficult. I did some pretty good damage on him. Was able to get him down, no deaths. The Bramble boss, same thing, no deaths. I still haven't died yet. Yet, keyword. I have some fun later. This guy, and I actually had, it doesn't seem like I had any trouble with him, but I really did, because there's some animations that I didn't catch, like as soon as he started it, and so like I got hit by a few things, and then of course he's smacking around, slamming things, and I'm just trying to do as much damage as fast as possible. I did get him down, no issues. That was my first death. I got stuck and I just couldn't roll out of the fun. So that was my first death. Move on to the Crowbell. I think that's the name. Yeah, Crowbell. Anyway, so this was an interesting fight until here. I got absolutely smacked. So that's death number 2 so far. We keep going. I actually get him all the way down. I like this fight and I don't like this fight. So I like the fight because he's pretty much he displays everything that he's going to do. There's no hidden surprises. He slams, he'll smack. He slams, he'll smack. There's no real differentiation. He transforms. There's nothing crazy about the fight itself. But what I didn't like was having to walk with him and transition into different areas, especially the end part where you have to walk quite a ways. It's not like it's a crazy bad deal or anything. It was just different from the rest of them, and it kind of throws off the cadence. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But so down him. He actually doesn't kill me again. I am able to down him as soon as that one happens. Then we move over to, I'm pretty sure this was the Freythorn area. I don't remember this boss's name. King of the Mist or something. I don't know. Anyway, got him down actually pretty quick. I did like the transition on his transformation though, because he did do some cool mechanics on the second transformation. Oh, this part. This is cool. So initially when you pull up a skill and you try to activate it, like a support skill specifically, it automatically puts you on that specific weapon, whichever it recommends. Well, if you scroll to the left or like click or scroll to the right, you can actually choose from all of the support 1 gems, and I didn't know that was a thing, so that was a cool little learning curve. So right there, those last 2 scenes, those were the different tessellations and backgrounds. Like you go from the rooted area to a forest, and then you go to a farmland, and then you go to this burning village. So I really like that's pretty cool. So like the acts themselves aren't based around that. Oh, look, the executioner killed me. Yeah, that wasn't a good one. I did enjoy this fight though. He displays everything. I just didn't know he smacked so hard. I figured I could tank it 1 hit, but I was wrong. He is an executioner. I got executed. But we go through, we finish it. All the ads coming in, the lower health he got, that was a little different, if you will. It hasn't happened yet. Like normally the ads would spawn in the middle of the fight, but this time it was all the way in the fight. So got that done. I kept that little bit in there because I thought it was funny. I just clicked on a dead body and it gave me a gem. That little tidbit about the runes, they give you skills. I didn't know that, so I'm wondering if that takes place further in the game to where I can actually use those. successfully, because I don't really want to mess with them just yet, but because I like the build I'm creating, if you will. Of course, it's not really creating, I'm just using 2 or 3 skills. Then we go on to this candle something boss. I don't know. He wasn't too difficult. He did have a lot of fire on him though, so that was a little rough. So the reason why I have this little scene going through is because I get my first unique, and it's actually a really freaking cool helmet that gives me ignition on everything that I'm near. So the longer I'm there, the more ignite they have. And this is the final boss, and he was a little bit of a doozy. I mean, I do a lot of damage, so I'm sure I mitigated a lot of the lengthiness of the fight in comparison to the mechanics, but it was actually a really cool fight. He has 2 phases as well. So right now he's in his human form, and I'm just sitting there putting as much damage on him as I can. I've learned in this game to do the most amount of damage as fast as possible to skip mechanics. That just seems to be the way to do it. Learning the mechanics just probably wouldn't be too much fun. But I think I want to do that on some of the bosses just to see how things actually work, or are supposed to work. So as you see here, he transitions into a corrupted wolf dude thing wielding a sword. I don't know, the sword looks really cool. This mist sequence was kind of interesting. So he disappears, and then these wolves spawn. I didn't know if they were going to explode or just attack me, so I'm just going around in circles and circles, and voila, I actually down him. No deaths. And that's the end, unfortunately, of Act 1, which therefore puts me at the end of this video. I will be continuing this journey. I have already started on Act 2, so we'll see how far I can get and how many deaths I have. So until next time.